Hello, I'm Henry Scalets, and welcome to my first impressions of Kingdom Come Deliverance Hardcore Mode. Yes, that's right, I've taken a break from playing the normal mode that you've been seeing on my YouTube channel, and I've had a go at the Hardcore Mode that's come out in the last few days. Now, to begin with, it makes things more difficult. To start your new hardcore mode, you have to choose some new negative perks, which can seriously affect your gameplay. You can choose things like nightmares, which reduces your stats when you wake up after a night's sleep, reduces things like your strength, vitality, and agility. Also choose other options like hemophilia, which means that you bleed a lot quicker when you've been having a fight and they've drawn blood. And others like numbskull, which reduces your ability to learn new skills and perks quicker in the game. So you'll have to put more effort into learning lockpicking and sneaking, pickpocketing. Also, your picking up of your sword fighting and archery will be reduced earlier on in the game. Now, I've chosen nightmares, so this will affect my stats when I wake up in the morning, but that's okay, I think, because I tend to wake up as soon as there's enough light to see where I'm going without a torch in the game. So hopefully I'll just do a bit of pottering around until those main stats are restored to what they normally are. I've also chosen Somnambulant because I think that'll be a lot of fun. This, when you go to sleep at night in one place, there is a chance that you'll wake up somewhere else. So basically, it's a sleepwalking perk. This will be interesting with the map and navigation changes in hardcore mode. And speaking of that, yes, there has been some changes. Now, on your normal map, it doesn't show anything at the beginning of the game at all. It doesn't show your actual character where he is on the map. So you've got to work that out. You've got to see where the shops and things like accidents and interesting places are and work out your position from that. So when they appear, when you discover them, you can quickly look on your map and see where they are. Also, with the navigation on whilst you're playing the game, your compass has now been reduced to just simple lines. So you can use it to find a bearing, follow a bearing, but it won't tell you where north is on your compass. So you will have to rely on where the sun is, what time it is, and looking around for landmarks such as buildings, rivers, trees, mountains, that kind of thing. The other change to your heads-up display while you're playing is the fact there is no health and stamina bar at the bottom. This will make fighting trickier, and you'll have to work out very quickly when it's best to run if you're finding that you're fighting a difficult opponent and you're about to die. You're better off running sooner rather than later, so it'll take a bit of skill to work that out early on. Now, speaking of fighting, the opponents are going to be harder. They're going to come at you like a raging bull. You've got to be ready, and if you're not prepared, you will die quickly. I've discovered this myself in the game. They're going to be harder to fight, so you're going to have to pick your opponents and your fights wisely. If you can avoid a fight, it is probably going to be best that you do that, and that really was the idea with the normal mode as well. You know, there is a trophy for not killing anyone at all, so like in real life, if you don't want to die, don't pick a fight. Another thing that's changed is the food in the game. One of my complaints from playing the normal mode was that there just seemed to be a lot of food in abundance in the game, which made it kind of rather silly that there were people from Scalets begging in Rattay when they could quite easily just wander around and get food from the various cooking pots that are littered about the map. So what they've done there, instead of getting a nutrition value of 25 from a pot of food, you only get about 4 or 5. What this does is encourages you to use the food that you've collected through the game, whether that's from looting or purchasing. This means you need to eat the food before it goes off, or you risk starving or getting food poisoning. My tactic here would be spending a lot of time scavenging for food, things like mushrooms, any chickens I can kill without anybody noticing, and looting bandits, when I'm able to actually kill some or knock them out. I'll also, as I progress through the game and improve my stats, I'll be choosing perks that help me last longer before I need to eat, and also before I need to sleep as well. Buying food, though, is going to be a bit more difficult, as they've made it harder to buy and sell items at a reasonable price. Items can be more expensive to buy, and you get less money for what you sell. This means that I'll probably spend a lot more time looking for treasure and hoarding less equipment that I find in treasure chests and from looting and stealing. I'll probably spend a lot more time playing dice as well. So I'll be spending a lot of time gambling at the taverns and trying to cheat my way as much money as I possibly can. Which brings me to another thing. I've played a game of dice in the game, and so far I haven't noticed any difference in the quality of the opponents. That's something I'll be testing as I continue playing the game. Now, obviously you'd need to start a new game to experience hardcore mode. So once again, I start off in Skalitz running errands for my father. One of the first errands I try to complete is getting the money from Kunesh. But Kunesh obviously doesn't want to part from any money, and he's not going to give the axe and nails back. So, I did what I normally do in the normal mode and start a fight with him. But my god, is Kunesh better. He can dodge your punches and he can do quite a bit of damage quite quickly. I did not last very long and ended up having to go to Mother to get my injuries seen to. Kunesh is hard to beat. Now, when I played it in normal mode, I wanted to beat him, so I learned how to fight the guy. I looked on YouTube, and I learned the tactics that you needed to do. Obviously, this isn't very realistic and is a bit cheating. So, really, with this, you're forced to be more clever. Either try negotiating in with him, that doesn't work. The best option for getting the axe and nails back without having to steal them would be to enlist the help of Matthew, Fritz, and Matthias after you've been throwing dung at the Deutscher's house. They quite easily subdue Kunesh, and you get what you need from him. Now, once I'd left Skalitz and escaped from Talmberg, I made my way back to Skalitz to bury my parents, and my first encounter with a bandit was quick. And when I say quick, I died quickly. I was so not prepared for it. I didn't have my weapon out, I didn't have a shield. He came straight at me. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And he battered me. And before I even had a chance to take my sword out, I was pretty much half dead. I didn't last long after that. So I had to reload, return to Talmberg, did my escape then, and off I went back to Skalitz. This time, I tried again. It went better. I managed to kill the bandit, but it was so much harder and he did quite a bit of damage before I beat him. So my tactic from that point on was just to avoid them. And this is what I did with my second one. I tried to give him a wide berth and continue on to Skalitz, but you know what? I had an idea, which was silly. I thought, you know what? I'm going to go sneak on him, knock him out, and then loot him. But no, I wasn't able to do that. I was too noisy. He heard me coming up behind him and turned around and attacked. I was a bit more prepared this time. I had my sword out and I was eventually able to beat him. But again, I took a bit of a battering. The third opponent I came to, I tried to shoot him a few arrows. I think I got 1 or 2 hits and was able to kill him pretty much straight away. But again, it's very nerve-wracking. You could die pretty quickly and then have to return back to the previous save. Something I'm going to have to avoid, especially earlier on in the game. Obviously, once I get into Skalitz, I bump into Shibishik, and he wants to start a fight with me. But he has the right idea, and as soon as I pull my sword out, he does a runner. yes, that is pretty much what I'm going to have to do from there on in. My plans for earlier main quest missions, like investigating the attack on Neuhof, I know with that you do encounter some bandits early on, so I will probably just go back to Bernard and say, look, I found these bandits, come and do the fighting for me, and then I'll take what I want from them afterwards. So yeah, that's something to think about. So, my first impressions, this is going to be hard and it's going to take a lot of thinking. Now, I'd spent a lot of time playing tactical managing games, and would always look to challenge myself. When I played Total War games, I'd choose the highest setting for difficulty, which gave me the best challenge. It made me think about what I was doing before I committed myself. And the same for things like Skyrim and Fallout 4. I wanted to play the survival mode. I wanted to make it as realistic as I possibly could, so that I didn't just wade in and start fighting. So this is something I'm really looking forward to playing. At the moment, I'm preparing for the From the Ashes DLC. I've been raising as much money as I can in preparation for that. So I will be continuing my playthrough of that and posting up my videos on YouTube. And I will dip into hardcore mode as much as I possibly can. But yes, this is going to be great fun. It's going to be something that is going to test my ability to not just run in there and start fights that I don't have to get into. I'll probably spend a lot of time hanging back, like Teresa has advised me, and just waiting until everybody else has been battered before I go in there and finish them off. Oh, thank you for listening. I'm Henry of Scalets. You can follow me on Twitter at hscalets. And please do subscribe. It would mean a lot to me for you to do that, and give me an idea of how many people are interested in my videos, and there will be more to come. I'm looking at doing more videos for the DLCs coming out for Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm waiting for my beta code for Fallout 76, and I will be playing Red Dead Redemption 2 when it comes out later on in the year. Okay, thank you for listening and have a good day.